Hi everyone, and welcome back to Tech Bytes, tips and resources for educators, brought to you by MASSP. My name is Ryan Casey, and today I want to show you a really cool resource called Slido, which allows you to interact and engage with your audience, whether you're in a faculty meeting or a parent night presentation, by allowing your audience to respond to different polls, quizzes, and even a Q&A session. All the participants have to do is simply respond using a mobile device, and you can interact with them in a new way to hear all voices. So we're going to check out some key features of Slido today, so let's get started. Alright, so I am at the Slido website right now. That is sli.do, and this will give you a really quick overview of all of its features and who uses the program. This is also a spot that your participants can go on their computer if they want to enter an event code to join and start responding. The one thing I do just want to point out on this website is regarding its pricing. You can use this as a free resource that'll allow you to create as many events as you want, but within each event you can only have 3 polls, so ask 3 questions. If you want unlimited amount of polls and questions, you'd want to upgrade to the teacher account, which would be $75 for the year, which I think is pretty reasonable. Again, but this is where you're going to want to go to get started and set up your account at sli.do. And so next we're going to start creating our first event and start adding some poll questions. Okay, so I'm already logged in to the admin side of Slido right now, and I do have the teacher plan. You can see my past events that are listed here right now. I can actually go to this spot as well if I want to look up some analytics or some data after an event has ended. But for now, we're going to go up to the right-hand corner here and choose Create Event. You're going to give your event a name. So maybe I'm doing this for a curriculum night for parents, let's say. You have to select a start date and an end date. If you choose 2 different dates, you're just giving a range for your participants to respond. So in this case, they would have about 3 days to respond, and then it won't be until after the end date that some of those analytics, some of the data would be available to me. You also automatically get an event code, but you can customize that to something else. You can use a keyword. It doesn't have to be just numbers or anything. So you can be more specific there if you want. Otherwise, you hit Create Event. And now our event is here, and we can begin adding different types of questions, which we're going to do next. So now we have our event created. We're going to start adding in some poll questions. So by default right now, every event you make allows your participants to ask a question through like a Q&A screen. That's something that we can turn off in settings, which we'll do in just a minute. So this shows you the audience Q&A. You have some options here, again, under the teacher plan that I have to add moderation on, so the questions won't just automatically go to the screen. You can kind of filter those, make sure they're appropriate, that sort of thing first. So this is the audience Q&A. I'm going to switch over to the live polls tab, because this is where you can choose different types of questions that you want to ask your audience. So for example, multiple choice. Do you want to create a word cloud based on the words that they respond with? Quizzes. Have them give a rating. An open text where they can just respond with some sort of answer, and then there are surveys. There are also templates created as well that'll have some really common or popular questions that are asked during different meetings or conferences and whatnot. So that's an area you can check out. So for this, I'm just going to do a couple of different questions. The first is going to be multiple choice. Again, you just ask the question that you want to ask your audience. So in this case, we're going to say, what options are available at our high school for students to earn college credit? So we're curious to know if our parents in this case know how students can earn college credit while in high school. So I'm going to add advanced placement, CLEP, dual enrollment, early college is just a few. So I'll say I'm going to allow them to select multiple, so it'll be like a checkbox, if you will. Select all that, apply, and I hit save. And now we can see our question is listed here. And then we can create, that was just one poll. We can create another poll now if we want as well. So this time I'm going to do maybe an open text. I'm going to say, how many credits are needed to graduate from our school? Again, they can type in any sort of number here as their response. I hit save, that gets added. So again, off the free account, you can only have 3 different questions here, 3 different polls. Under the teacher account, again, that was $75, you can have unlimited numbers, so I can keep going and going. So now that we have a couple created, I'm going to show you what it looks like for somebody to respond, and then how you can manage that as the presenter in presenter mode. So now that we have some of our polls created, we can present this and start accepting responses from our audience. And what's really cool about Slido that I like is at any time you can actually pull up over on the left hand side here. They have this participant mode. So if you kind of want to see what this looks like from somebody's cell phone, you can see what the different questions look like, and then the data will even come through on the right side of the screen. So for example, I think I have this second question open. Let's see, at my school I think it was 27. So send. And then you can see the different sample items coming through. So I can watch this from this screen if I want to present in a different screen or extend my my desktop, if you will. So that's just one way. It's kind of nice. You can see what it looks like directly from a cell phone. I'm going to go ahead and clear out those results so you can kind of play around with your poll questions before you go live with it. You can see that each question, you simply have to click the play button or the stop button to activate it so that people can start sending their responses in. At any time, you can lock the voting and not accept any more responses. You can see the different results or choose whether or not you want them visible or not to your audience. I'm going to go up to present mode. When you do this, this will actually be blown up on your projector screen, if you will. It's going to give the code to allow your participants to know where to go. So in this case, slido.com. There's my meeting or event code right there. So you'd leave that up for a little bit so that they can get all set. And then when you are ready, you'll actually move to poll number 1. So you'll click on that button. And then you can see as answers come in, the data will be live. So I'm going to do this from my phone real quick. And as I send in my response, you should see the data start changing. So this will fluctuate depending on how many people you have. Again, when you are done with the question at any time, if you want to pause, I'm going to hit stop to deactivate this poll. I don't want them to respond anymore. It takes them back to this screen, so everybody still knows how to respond and how to get there. And then you can move on to the next question when you're ready, and you'll simply hit play to activate it. And again, that screen will start accepting responses as well. And then this was an open-ended one, right? So different types of responses can start coming through. Then at any time, again, you can lock this. You can turn the results off so they can't see them, and you can exit out. What I also really like about this platform as well is you can actually log in to Slido from your mobile device, and you can actually flip through the questions and activate, deactivate questions from your phone, so you don't have to do that right on that screen I was just at. So if you're worried about being tied down to your computer while you're trying to present at a faculty meeting or on the stage at a parent night, that sort of thing, you can actually run all this right from your cell phone, which is really slick too. So after your Q&A session or your polls are over with, it is really cool to go back to your event and check out some of the analytics. You can see how many users were engaged, how many questions were liked or disliked, how many polls had responses, and again, you can review the data as well. It'll actually give you this as an infographic, and you can export this data to Excel if you want as well. Just a couple other things I do want to mention. There are some different settings that you can play around with on your events as well. So if you want to go back and change the name of it or change the date range for your event, maybe a day switch that you were planning on doing this, it's no problem. You can do it there. You can always turn off if you don't want to do the Q&A thing. You just want to do poll questions or vice versa. You can turn those on and off. And there is some customization in terms of, again, depending on if you have the free account or not, if you want to change the look, the theme, how many questions are displayed, what it looks like for your participants on their phone, some things like that. So you do want to check out the settings. Again, this was Slido, sli.do. I really encourage you to check it out and try it at your next faculty meeting, maybe on the free account, or have your teachers even try it with their students in the classroom, again on the free account, just to see if they like it. I know there are other softwares like this out there, but this one's really easy to use and does a lot for what I think is a reasonable price. So that's going to do it for Tech Bytes for this edition. Thanks for watching and have a great day.